I never really had the classic struggle. I had faith. Denzel Washington. You know, I can always tell the students who are going to make it because they're not struggling. They have faith. They know they can do this. They know they will devote however long it takes, however many days, however much practice trading, they will stick with it until they get it. And you know what? They can't lose. So 10 to 15 minutes a day, each and every day the market is open. That is all we ask. That's all you got to do. Just stick with it. Practice trade. Fill out your daily market worksheets, weekly market worksheets. You'll see links in the show notes to those for free. Also have a great training for you today. The training for everyone who is subscribed at chartingwealth.com. You do that for free. The easy method for tracking practice trades. You can do it with freestockcharts.com. Want you to have that special training. It will help you in so many ways. If you're not practice trading, then you're missing out on most everything. Maybe you just enjoy the sound of my voice. I don't think it sounds that good. You need the practice trading. Now, let's jump into these charts. Stocks up for the day along with bonds, gold just a little bit down. Let's see what we have here. As we look at the week, we have a green up candle reaching a higher high. Price percent oscillator is heading up, still negative, still quite negative. Derivative oscillator also negative, losing downward momentum. We go to the 2-day chart. What do we see there? We see price is sketchy right there at the 2-day trend line. Now we could redraw it a little bit. No matter how we redraw it, still sort of sketchy. We have a red open box candle that is forming. That represents Thursday so far. It'll finish drawing on Friday. Price percent oscillator still heading up. Derivative oscillator losing a little bit of momentum right now. We'll keep a close eye on that. You know what I'm waiting for, friends? A crossover going down, what we call a recross on the 2-day chart. If that happens, man, that means the market is moving back down again strongly. Not as strong as the original. Well, it could be stronger than the weekly vertical crossover that first occurred. That's always our safest move. And you know what I'm doing for you guys? I spent the afternoon working on this. I'm going to show you tomorrow. Probably going to record the video in the morning. I'll get it out to all of the subscribers, but it shows you how successful we have been so far this year with weekly vertical crossovers, the jumping in point and the highest high, and the percentages are amazing. And they're not just in the drop, they're also in up movements. So not the historic crash, but there are others. So I want you to see all of that. Now, that's where we see the 2-day chart moving. Let's look at the 4-hour. 4-hour chart is trying to cross over going down. Now, it was a little bit of an up day for the S&P 500, but we really have a sideways slide and a losing of momentum. That's why you've seen the derivative oscillator already go negative. Price percent oscillators trying to cross over. We'll see what Friday looks like. And gosh, if it was a huge down day, might portend a 2-day recross. I don't think there's enough energy. Typically there's not for where we are for it to happen at the end of the day, but you know, that's just a lot of movement we'd have to drag that down. Don't think that's too likely, but we'll wait. We'll see. We'll let the charts lead us. Now back to the weekly chart. We move from the S&P 500 to the Nasdaq 100. That was up considerably more than the S&P, up 1.82%. See a decent sized green up candle. Price percent oscillators heading up. Derivative oscillators losing downward momentum. Go to that 2-day chart. What do we see there? Again, rocketing to higher highs. Nice size candle. Price is above, well above the 2-day. And we see the derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Go to the 4-hour chart. And of course, it's not getting over close to crossing down. It's up in the morning, about the same in the afternoon. And we see we have a nice trend line. And again, the Q's much stronger than the S&P. So that's where we are there. Going to leave stocks, go to bonds. Bonds up for the day, 1.14%. We see price is above the weekly trend line. Price percent oscillator heading up. Derivative oscillator peaked all the way back on the week ending the 6th of March and has been losing momentum since then. the primary culprit was the crazy week on the 20th of March, and then a bit of a slowdown in the up movement on the 9th of April, the week ending then. So and we just continue to see a devolution in what we call our leading indicator, triple smooth version of the RSI, called the derivative oscillator. So we see that happening. We go from the weekly to the 2-day. What do we see there? Well, first day of this latest 2-day chart is a nice bump up again, up 1.82% for the day. Things had crossed over going down on TLT on the 2-day chart, just back on the 13th. Now we see that it may be crossing over going up. We'll see how things go on Friday. And if we have what we call a recross, we may very well have that happen with this big up candle. Hasn't happened yet, but we have one more day of movement. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that, let you know if that occurs. Of course, that 4-hour chart crossed over going up in the morning on Thursday. And did it reach a little bit of a higher high? 170.20 in the morning, 170.32, yeah, 12 cents higher in the afternoon. So we'll keep an eye, might have a recross on TLT going up. That would be nice to see that, and the weekend effect might help you make a successful trade on that as the new week starts. Remember, if that does occur, you need to be watching the charts toward the close of the market on Friday, and if you have a clean crossover going up on that 2-day chart, we call that a recross because it's moved in the opposite direction of the weekly, and now it's moving back. If that occurs, then of course, right prior to the close of the market on Friday, you might engage in a practice trade and see how that goes. And in fact, you can use the training you're getting from today's special video for all of our students. You can use that to help you monitor your success of that trade. It's an easy tracking method using freestockcharts.com. Now, lastly, we go to gold. What's up with gold? Big up week in gold. Prior week, the high, 159.08. This week, the high, 164.42. Now, gold is down a little bit for the day. Still looks beautiful, though. Price percent oscillator heading up. Derivative oscillator still negative. That has given us some concern a little bit. Not so much that we wouldn't hop into that practice trade, of course. And what do we see going on the 2-day chart? A little bit of weakening. We see a slowdown in the up movement. Price sitting, it's right there on the 2-day trend line, so that's okay. It's above it. But again, a little bit of weakening. However, the derivative oscillator still moving up, but we can see that price percent oscillator slowing down a little bit in that red open box candle. Still have another day of movement before that candle finishes drawing. We'll pay close attention as to what happens to gold on Friday. And that 4-hour chart, up some in the afternoon, lost it in the morning, up some, lost it in the afternoon, getting close to crossing over, going down. Derivative oscillators lost a lot of energy, both in the morning and even more in the afternoon. So what we're really seeing is a sideways slide and some weakening in gold. We'll see if it's if we look back a little bit, we can see where gold popped up, sort of digested those gains and popped up again. Now, it could be digesting those gains, getting ready to go down. So we'll see how things continue in gold. Keep an eye on it. If you jumped in to what has been a successful practice trade after that weekly vertical crossover last Thursday, remember markets were closed for Good Friday, jumping in point around 158.46. Of course, the high was 164.42 and closed somewhere around 161.64. So again, still a nice profit in there. Keep your eye on the prize. We'll see how things continue to go. For those of you who follow us just for those 4 charts, we are done. Thank you so much for being with us. Hadn't purchased the book. Would sure appreciate you doing so and supporting the channel. Also consider being a Patreon supporter. We do appreciate all of that. And we fulfill those orders when you order. And we send you an autographed copy of the book wherever you are. If you happen to be overseas and want to get our book, Charting Your Way to Wealth, what you need to do is email us, cw@chartingwealth.com, and we will, of course, send you a PayPal invoice. Pay that. We'll send it to you wherever you are in the world. If you're in the States, just follow the link in the show notes to our Square Up page. We'll get that book right out to you. Now, for those of you who are interested in what's going on with oil, Bitcoin And real estate. Let's go to OIL. Check it out, my friends. Down again. Oil is down 2.09%. Hasn't hit the lowest, but got awfully close. The lowest it's hit so far, $3.99. Well, it hit 402 throughout the course of the day. Did that in the afternoon. Now that's the 4-hour chart. Don't like to start there. We'll start on the weekly. Looks about the same though. Look at that hammer down, just moving on down. Derivative oscillator losing some downward momentum, but that's from those two weekly green, solid green candles, which again are not strong up movement, just a slowdown in the down movement. 2-day chart, we can see it never got the energy to cross over, heading back down again. And what we saw in that 4-hour chart is it devolving throughout the course of the day. Oil just hammering down. How low can it go? Don't know, folks. You know, at some point, oil will recover. How long will that be? Couldn't tell you. But continue to keep an eye on things. If you're interested in oil, it's about as low as it has been the whole time. 2 cents away, 3 cents away from that. So quite low. Now, Bitcoin up a little bit for the day, 4.12%. Still see the derivative oscillator negative, losing a little bit of negative momentum. Price percent oscillator heading down. Red down candle drawing for the week, not much of one. We go to the 2-day chart. And of course, it's trying to peel away from the red signal line. That's not a bad sign at all. Not much in the way of a candle, though. But again, derivative oscillator gaining some upward momentum. Price percent oscillator heading up. You're going to have to wait, of course, for that weekly to finally catch up with it if you want to have a little bit more safety there for a practice trade. And we see the 4-hour chart. We saw some down movement in the morning. The real recovery was in the afternoon. We'll just sort of see how that shapes up. Still negative on that 4-hour chart. So keep your eye on Bitcoin. Nothing yet. We'll just continue to watch. Now, go to real estate. Real estate down another 1.14%. Price percent oscillator still negative on real estate. Derivative oscillator peaked, going down back on the week ending the 3rd of April. Do have a green open box forming, but still hasn't reached the high it reached last week. So again, real estate not getting any foothold, like we said, down for the day over 1%. 2-day chart, again, could be topping. We have a red candle forming, won't be finished forming until tomorrow. So we'll continue to keep an eye on things. Not much happening there. 4-hour chart did cross over with that down movement. Now 2 days of solid down movement on real estate. So haven't plumbed the lows yet. But again, just not getting its legs. And do you expect it to? With millions more out of work? I mean, again, how low will real estate go? Who knows? But we'll keep our eye on the prize and when and if things start accelerating strongly down again. That's where we are, folks, as we review these extra charts, as you guys have asked for. Don't forget, tomorrow at the close of the market, we'll be doing our comprehensive review and forecast, and you have got to see that. That's our most popular and perhaps our most important review for the week, where we go over what happened this week and what we might see occurring, what you need to put in your trader's journal so you know what to look for over the coming week. Remember, all the things we teach here can be used with your favorite stocks if they are indeed chartable, and discovering whether something's chartable or not is very, very important. We have some great trainings on that. I'll be putting those out again for you. Also, again, you need to be a subscriber. Go to chartingwealth.com, sign up. And if you are, of course, listening to us on iTunes, we so appreciate that. If you're watching us on YouTube, do click the right-hand bottom of the screen and subscribe. Helps us with our metrics. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.